So I like to say Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shah, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, and salutations to you brothers out there that's doing this work and truth and sincerity. Going back into what I was speaking on, is that you people, you love death. Even the scriptures tell you that, man. The scriptures tell you that. When you go to Wisdom of Solomon, man, this is something that I love getting all the time. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 13. It says, "For the Most High made not death, neither have he pleasure in the destruction of the living. For he created all things that they might have their being, and the generation of the world were healthful, and there is no poison of destruction in them, nor the kingdom of death upon the earth. For righteousness is immortal." It says, "But ungodly men with their works and words call it to them, for when they thought to have it their friend, they consumed to naught and made a covenant with it, because they were worthy to take part of it." So you made a covenant with what? You made a covenant with death. That's what you did. You made a covenant with death. What is that? Isaiah, the 8th chapter. Isaiah, the 8th chapter. That's why the Lord is bringing all this judgment, man. That's why the Lord is bringing all this judgment, man. Where is it? I think it's either Isaiah or Jeremiah. I think it's Jeremiah 8. Salakia. Bear with me for a second. Jeremiah 8 and 3. Right, Jeremiah 8 and 3. I'll just start off at 1. "At that time, saith Yahweh, they shall bring out the bones of the king of Judah, and the bones of his princes, and the bones of the priests, and the bones of the prophets, and the bones of the inhabitants of Jerusalem out of their graves. And they shall spread them before the sun and the moon, and all the host of the heaven, whom they have loved, and whom they have served, and after whom they have walked, and whom they have sought, and whom they have worshipped. They shall not be gathered, nor be buried. They shall be for dung upon the face of the earth. And death," the scripture says, "and death." What is death? The transgression of the laws. Sin. Sin is the transgression of the laws, right? And the scriptures tell you, for the wages of sin is death. You also got, what is that, in James, chapter 1, verse 15. It says, because of lust, they have, let me get it, man. Let me get it, so I don't cut it up. This is the book of James, chapter 1, verse 15. And the scripture says, "Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death." So there you go. That's what death is. And you people have done what? You have chosen death. So when the Lord brings this judgment upon the earth, when the Lord forces, when the Lord put the spirit on these Edomites, to force that MOTB, to force that CHIP, that charagma, that incision, when he forced that upon you people, a lot of you people are going to be put to death, man. A lot of you people that's going to refuse it, that don't have the hedge around you from your Habashim Yahushua, you're going to be put to death, man. And those that chooses it are going to be put to death. Right? So let me repeat that. Those that don't choose it are going to be put to death. Why are you going to be put to death if you don't choose it? Well, because your ass is wicked even if you don't choose it. A lot of you Israelites that's going to refuse it are going to get put to death because your ass is wicked. Just because you reject the CHIP, the charagma, doesn't mean that the Lord isn't going to reject you if you're not doing what he required you to do as of right now. What did he require you to do? Deuteronomy 10 and 12. He required you to keep his laws, his statutes, and commandments. Those who chooses it, you're a done deal, man. There ain't nothing even say about y'all. You're a done deal. But like the scriptures tell you, I believe that's in Deuteronomy the 10th chapter as well. For he says, choose ye this day life or death, and you people have chosen death. Again, going back to Jeremiah 8 and 3, "And death shall be chosen rather than life, by all the residue of them that remain of this evil family, which remain in all the places whether I have driven them, saith Yahweh of hosts." Right? So you rather choose death, you have made a covenant with death. Right? So let's get this real quick. This is the book of Isaiah 28 and 15. Isaiah 28:15. And the scripture says, because ye have, it says, because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell, which is a condition, are we at an agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us, for we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves. So the Lord is about to bring great judgment. Because why? You have chosen death rather than life. So going back to 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. 2nd Ezra 15:6. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they have profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them, and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I would not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. But I will bring them with the mighty hand and the stretched out arm, and will smite Egypt with plagues as before, and I will destroy all the land thereof. So the Lord is about to destroy this land. The Lord is done. He's going to destroy this place, man. Right? So let's keep going. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundations of it shall be smitten with the plagues and punishments that the Most High shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fell through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful consolation. That's also in 2nd Ezra 6:22, right? Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Hey, the scripture says, woe is destruction to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword, what is it again? The sword. So going back to that sword, Ezekiel 33, right? Ezekiel 21, Deuteronomy 32, and what was the other one? Psalms, the 7th chapter, the 14th verse. So the Lord is preparing what? He's preparing that sword. So again, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And those swords are modern day swords, which is the gun. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. So hey, you're gonna have sedition among men, and people are gonna be invading one another. You already have what they called what is it called when somebody breaking somebody else's house, man? He called it what, a burglar, right? Right, so you already have that going on, and that's gonna happen on a worse level than what's happening now, because people are gonna get desperate. What do you think that's gonna happen when people start getting desperate? When they want to feed their kids, when they want to feed themselves, when they need to get to resources, they're gonna stalk, they're gonna look, they're gonna observe people who are carrying these type of things within their homes, people who are building like little bunkers in the backyards. Like, people are aware of these things, and people see these things, and when they find themselves in a situation where they need to feed themselves and their family, they're going to make a move on you, and they're going to burglarize your damn house, and they're not going to spare you, because they're only thinking about themselves and their family and feeding them, and they're going to more likely kill you so you don't come back with vengeance, man. So they won't have to deal with you later on, so they could kill you, take your food, take it to their families, and they could eat it, and you and your family in the house dead, man. This is what the world is going to come to. So again, 2nd Ezra 15 and 15, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. They're not going to regard them. Their leaders, these so-called leaders that they have, what if it's the president, right? Or what they call is the executive branch, the judicial bench, and the legislative branch. They're not going to give a F about any of them, man. They're not going to give a damn about that, man. They're not going to give a damn about these black leaders and these Hispanic leaders and white leaders. They're not going to care about none of that. They're not going to care about their damn pastor. They're not going to care about their deacon. They're not going to care about any of that, man. These people are only going to be thinking about one thing and one thing only: survival. That's all they're going to be thinking about, man. And that day, a majority of these people aren't even going to be thinking about the Most High. They're not going to be thinking about praying. The majority of these people aren't doing it now. A lot of these people are going into being atheists or devil worshippers. Right? So again, 2nd Ezra 15:16, I'm going to have to end it from there and say, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shah, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash, double unto the apostles and elders of GMS, and salutations to you brothers out there that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. I like to say Shalom.